obviously you've had to grow a crazy culture. Like, so let's talk about all that, bro. I'm fucking so excited for this.
Yeah, it becomes more like chess and politics and
Yeah.
knowing what buttons to push to make people, do what you need them to do to get bought into the mission. So, like, we hired a lot of people. Everybody asked me, how do you hire all these people and they stay with you for years and they never end up leaving you? You got this top talent that stays with you, 4, 5, 6, 8. Brandon's with me 9 years now.
Yeah.
Right? A lot of my other guys have been for 5+ years. It's because
That's wild.
you got to foster whatever it is that their personal and professional dreams are. So a lot of these top talent guys, they're going to come in and be like, dude, I want to make $150 a year. I want to have passive income. I want to do real estate. I want to own rental properties. And if you're the guy that can't provide that for them, they're winners. They're going to go out and they're going to go out and get it. So my whole philosophy is absolutely, let's get you up to that 150 plus, and then we're banking that money to be able to start taking down rental properties. You got first look in the company of the most deeply discounted, hot, off-market real estate. So
I love it, bro. And
we actually coach our fucking guys
how to break down,
how to buy rentals, how to flip properties, and we're the source of the inventory. But what that does is we have goals for them. Like, all right, so what's your goal? I want $4K a month in passive income. All right, well, this is how much it's going to be in rentals.
Yeah.
Here's how much you're going to need to invest in for cash to close. So we get very methodical and start breaking down all of their personal and professional goals, and it fits within the company.
Yep.
If you're fucking, your vision and your goals as the owner, and everybody else's goals don't fit within them, people aren't going to stay with you.
You can't get the good talent because you want the exceptional people who are thinking big, and you got to think big enough and have a big enough vision for that company to go to where, like, Google goes and they hire the smartest people in the world, and for a while that was their business model. Mm-hmm. And like, we're just gonna go build dope shit, and then they had a monopoly on the best talent in the world, and the vision for everything was so big that nobody could compete with them, bro.
Right.
Because they had the best talent ever.
And you know this from sports. The team with the best players wins.
100%, bro.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's the reason that I'm able to speak on these stages, and I get a lot of the recognition I have is not because of me. I'm the most incompetent person in my office. I haven't run an ARV. I haven't underwritten a property. I haven't talked to a buyer, seller in over 5 years.
That's so dope.
Right? So I walk into my office and I'm clueless. But I think who, not how.
Yep.
If you guys have not read that book, Who, Not How, absolutely changed my life. You got to start thinking who can do what you want and fulfill your goals, not how can you do it.
Bro, how do you grow your culture and how have you scaled your culture? When we started, my biggest failure, I would say, when we really scaled Calm Magicians up to 150 people, it was so hard for me to grow. We did that in 18 months virtually. So the culture of it was almost impossible for me as like a first-time dude, and getting it to go down from like top-level CEO all the way down to those new hires, even with onboarding and everything else. And so, like, how are you scaling culture now? Obviously, Brandon, I'd say, is a huge part of it because he can develop more leaders. But like, how are you scaling culture from far away?
So, for instance, last weekend, I was in Vegas. I saw that UFC 300 was going to be in Vegas. I know Brandon's a big UFC guy.
Okay.
So I called him last minute. I said, hey, get your ass to Vegas. I'm taking you to UFC.
That's dope.
2 weeks from now, I'll be in my office. When I go to my office, I'm basically just like the figurehead and the cheerleader. I go in there, they don't need me. They're like, hey, what's up? Like, what are you doing here? But I take them out to lunches. We'll go float the river in Austin. I'll rent a fucking boat on Lake Travis.
Yeah.
It's things like that are important, but like being socially active with your team is important. That's one thing, but it's also culture within the office.
Yeah.
So you don't realize like the little things that make such a difference. It's the recognition and praise.
Bro,
we do.
Elaborate on that, because people think employee of the month is stupid, but I think it's the best thing ever for culture if you do it the right way.